I do wake up looking this good. Don't be jealous, okay? Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if this is your first time here, my name is Melissa. Welcome to my face. I've been sitting here for 4 hours, no word of a lie, trying to do a makeup look so I could film another one with my Carnival 3, and it's just not, oh for goodness sake. It's just not working out. I can't do it. So this eye's a bit sore and red and watery. So I thought instead I would just sit and do a chit chat, get ready with me, put my makeup on in the way I've been doing it recently and really enjoying it. And that's it. You're gonna have to deal with that. Okay? No complaints. Hopefully I'll have Carnival 3 up for Sunday. Anyway, let's jump in it. I'm gonna just start from the very beginning because that's where we are. Cheer not farts. I'm going to go in with my Glam Glow Moisture Trip Omega Rich Moisturiser. It looks very bright in here, but I think it's because the sun's out, so whatever. I love this moisturiser. I'm almost finished. The reason I like it is because I want to go for like super glowy, chewy, beautiful skin. And I feel like this helps with that. What also helps is my Glow Recipe Overnight Watermelon Mask. Cannot recommend it enough. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I've been going on about my Sheen liners being my favourite discovery of 2020, and they have definitely been topped by something skincare-y, which is weird because I don't usually care about skincare. This one, by the way, is the Glow Recipe that I've been banging on about. It's incredible. It's very expensive. You can get it on Cult Beauty. But yeah, for me, I actually have noticeable differences within a week. Alright, then I'm going to go in with my Deciem, or the Ordinary, but it's actually Deciem, Hylamide HA Blur Primer. This is for my wrinkly forehead, mostly. So I just massage it in so that it fills in all my cracks. Sounds sexy, doesn't it? I only put it on my forehead because that's where I've got my lines. And Botox is not on the cards right now. I really like this. It's a tenner. I used to get it on Beauty Bay, but you can't get it on there anymore. But luckily my friend Nina was selling 2 full brand new ones, so I bought them off of her. Thanks Nina, you've saved my wrinkliness. And then one more thing is my Becca Backlight Priming Filter. You know I love this. Look how much I've used. There's a hair hanging off it, which is making me feel a bit sick. You know what else made me feel sick? Got in the shower this morning and there was a spider. Just in my shower. Anyway, he's gone now. Oh, I love this. And I'm going to avoid my forehead because I don't really need to add glow to my forehead. So that is my skin looking absolutely glorious. Like chest width. I would happily go out just like this. Like if I'm just running errands or something. But say I had a date. My sausages are just waiting for me to spill the tea, as Elena says, every 2 minutes. So maybe I'll spill some tea, maybe I won't. What do I do now? I'm just going to let that sink in for a few minutes. Claire, I am sorry that I'm missing your live because I'm filming. I dyed my hair the other day, 2 days ago? 3 days ago now I dyed my hair again, so it's looking a bit more. Well, the colour's magenta. In fact, let me show you it. A few people suggested this brand to me, and especially Izzy as well, Knight and Wilson, and I got the shade Magenta Dream. Put it all over. It's looking glorious. It's taken like the neon pink out the bottom of my hair, but I don't really mind. It's a lovely colour. In fact, when I went to the pub a couple of nights ago, the guy at the door was wanting to know what it was, so that he could do it himself. He had pretty cool hair. So, right, that's sunk in. I need to just get on with this. I am going to use my ABH. Usually I use 110C, but I feel like having a bit more colour today, so I'm going to use 130C. W. 130W. I'm so sorry it's noisy outside. Really noisy. I'm taking 3 full pumps. And I'm going to put cheeks, nose, chin, and then when I've got the littlest amount on my sponge, a bit on my forehead, because I want the least amount of product up there possible because of the wrinkles. You guessed it. I might just deepen it ever so slightly because the sun's out, and I feel like when I then put foundation on I really get washed out. I'm not going to bang on about the products too much, but this foundation is my jam, especially if I want to have glowy, glossy, lovely skin and not be cakey and heavy. So, okay, first I'm going to touch on my sausages, and I still get lots of comments like, what are your sausages? Why do you always talk about sausages? So last year, it would have been, yeah, last year when I really hurt my back and had to stop working my actual normal job. I worked in a hotel. I set up a Patreon just to get a little bit of support financially, of course, because I couldn't work. I wasn't getting paid because of my back. Somehow, the name The Sexy Sausages stuck. So now my patrons are called My Sausages. We have the Sexy Sausage WhatsApp group, the Sexy Sausage Facebook group. If you become a sausage, you can go in those groups and just fanny around with the rest of us, but the WhatsApp group does fill up. Apparently you're only like 257 members in a WhatsApp group, so it's quite frustrating. I've got a lot of eyelash glue in my lashes. It's a bit annoying, but anyway. How good does my skin look? I mean, I know I can still see like this blemish, for example, but my skin looks so dewy and not heavy and full coverage, which is what I'm living for. So yeah, we have this community now, and I was just thinking about it today, like how it's really taken on a life of its own. Like, people, sausages go live all the time, like either on their YouTube channels or on their WhatsApp or on our Facebook group. Sorry, shut up. Katrina, one of our lovely sausages, I'm sure she won't mind me saying her name, she set up a couple of selling groups, so we sell makeup to each other or other stuff. There's a WhatsApp selling group. There is Anna, for example, she set up a spreadsheet so that we could all put on it when we're going live and stuff, and it's just such a community, and it's nuts. And people just like, they tell me all the time like how grateful they are for it, because everyone has made like literal real friends. Like Elena flew from Los Angeles to Ireland to visit a sausage. I went over to Ireland to visit a sausage. People are visiting each other here, there and everywhere, and it's just wonderful. But what I don't think my sausages realise is how much being a sausage and having it has really helped me. I'm going to use my Fenty shade Amber to cream contour, because this is going to really add to the overall dewiness. Probably should have covered that spot first, but whatevs. I mean, a lot of you will know, if not all of you will know, I am married, technically. My husband left me. This is like the first time I feel like I can speak about this without getting upset. My husband left me pretty much out of the blue in October last year, and I maybe I'll just be brutally honest in this video. Probably should put a trigger warning then. I'll try and put that at the beginning. I will get demonetized. I was not wanting to be on the planet anymore. To say it like that, just so that YouTube maybe doesn't demonetize me. I remember I went live for my patrons like the day after this happened, just to say, guys, I'm sorry, like I'm gonna be gone for a while, I'm gonna disappear, like I cannot deal with life, like YouTube is stupid and I don't want to think about that right now. By the way, this is not like a natural look, but it's natural for me. So yeah, and I got so many lovely supportive messages from my sausages when I explained to them what happened. Just kind of like briefly explained it because I didn't want to go into too much detail. And I had so much support and just like, oh my goodness, Melissa, just take your time, of course. Just take your time. This is my cream contour. I am putting it up here. Don't worry, this will all work out. And I think that was maybe before the WhatsApp group was set up. I don't remember. So I was just getting lots of incredible support, and people that had very similar experiences were messaging me and saying, you know, if you need to talk about this, I've been through exactly the same thing. I understand your feelings and your emotions. You're not alone. Or other people were like, I'm literally going through this right now as well. So, you know, you're not alone. Because you do feel very alone when something like that happens, even though you know it's happening all around the world. You're still experiencing your own version of it. And I was devastated. Gosh, this might get deep. I just feel like I can talk about it now. Well, I'm gonna try. With the encouragement of my family and parents, who are just the best, most incredible people and so supportive and loving, and I went to the doctor and they sent me, this was back in October, I was sent up to the mental health hospital in Edinburgh. It's in Morningside. I don't know the name of it. I was there, and anyway, apart from the fact that the NHS is absolutely shocking at mental health, because it would have been 9 months wait for me to speak to someone, I was put on antidepressants, which didn't work. So they upped my dose, didn't work. I'm now on my 3rd uppage of dosage, and 2 weeks ago I would have told you it wasn't working. But now I feel like maybe it's starting to work. And I was always the kind of person that never ever wanted to be on antidepressants. I didn't feel like there was a stigma. Like, I didn't feel that towards people that were on antidepressants. Like, I never thought any less. Like, a lot of my good friends and people that I knew and family members are on antidepressants. But for me, I was always naive and thought, you're just having a bad day. Like, and it's an awful way to think, like, I'm ashamed of it. And until I experienced depression, and then I was like, oh wow, this literally is like earth-shatteringly awful. You know, you wake up in the morning and you're just ready to I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape just because I'm almost finished it. I just peeled the stopper out and there is actually heaps left, but I'm not going to put too much concealer on, she says. I'm not like a very good storyteller, so I do apologise. But anyway, I was put on antidepressants. I then moved out of Edinburgh. I couldn't be in Edinburgh anymore. It just, like, that's where I thought I was going to build my life with my husband. And everywhere I went in Edinburgh had memories. Like, where we lived, obviously, had memories. All the streets around us, everywhere nice in Edinburgh we'd been together. All the nice cocktail bars, all the nice restaurants, all the nice walks, everything just had memories of us. And it was too hard, because to be honest, until fairly recently, I would like do anything, absolutely anything. I would sell my kidneys, I would do awful things just to have my ex back, because I was just, I mean, in love but also obsessed in a way that probably isn't healthy. And to me, like, you know, quite a traditional girl, marriage is forever, and I still believe that, but sometimes it really is out of your control and there's nothing you can do. So I'm getting lost in my storytelling because I'm bad at it. So yeah, obviously I moved. I vlogged that. If you missed it, you can see me show you my flat. And whilst Alloa is not probably where I'm gonna live forever, definitely not where I'm gonna live forever, it has been so good for me, and actually I'm starting now to see positives come out of the negatives of my marriage breakdown, which is just like awful words to say because I thought I would never say something like that. When I was married, we had a very codependent relationship, which I didn't realise is quite an unhealthy thing to have, and I very much depended on him for everything. Like, not like necessarily financially, because it kind of swung and roundabouts. Like when I first met him, I was making more money, and then he was, and then I was, and then he was, and then I couldn't work and he was making all the money. But more for emotional support. Like, I don't know if it's because of my early start in life. If you don't know, I am adopted. I could sit and blend this foundation all day and tell you this story, or I could move on to my next product. My next product is another Fenty. It's the cream bronzer. This is in Butter Biscuit. I'm gonna use this. I've been playing with it on this Morphe M405 brush. No, it seems to work quite well. Yeah, I don't know if it's because of my childhood, but I've always had this thing where I can be very, very, very close to like one person at a time, and like I have a person and that's it for me. Like I'm not one of those people that like needs a lot of socializing. I'm not the kind of person that like needs a lot of friends. Like if I have one really good close friend, I'm happy. But for me, that was my ex, obviously. Like, when you marry someone or you're in a relationship with someone, they are your best friend. So we were each other's best friends, but that means we very much neglected everybody else, like friends that we used to have. We did not make very much effort to go and see our other friends, which is, now I know, is very, very unhealthy. So we were just these like two peas in a pod, kind of against the world, and I like to put a bit of the bronzer over the bridge of my nose. I might do fake freckles, I might not. I know that looks crazy, but I'll go in with my sponge. Then when he left, I was all on my own. Obviously I had my family and stuff, but I didn't want to go back to my parents' house. They just wanted to bundle me up in my duvet and take me home because I wasn't getting out of bed for, I think it was about 2 weeks. I wasn't eating. My poor parents, like, they just had to keep coming around and checking on me and sitting by my bed, and it's just horrible to think about now. So I had to go to shops on my own. Couldn't do that. Literally couldn't step into a shop on my own. Even getting my groceries delivered gave me such incredible anxiety because I knew I'd have to stand and talk to someone and like unload groceries, and that was really stressful. And how beautiful is my skin looking, right? I was like paralyzed with anxiety for the simplest of things, like going to the shop to buy bread so I could make myself some sandwiches so I wouldn't die of hunger was so anxiety inducing. I would have panic attacks. It was awful, and that's because I relied very heavily on my ex. He did everything like that. He always went to the shops, he always took charge of everything, and that left me kind of incapable of doing things for myself because I had him to rely on, so I didn't need to worry about it. But you see, since moving to Alloa and like having to do all these things on my own, I am like a completely, like, I'm getting emotional now, but it's because I'm proud of myself. Like, I am a completely different person to who I was a year ago. Like, the other day I was selling an Xbox and I had this guy who was coming to buy it, and I knew I would have to like deal with the whole sale. I couldn't rely on anyone else to like sell it for me. So he came to my flat and tested it out and paid for it and took it away, and I had no anxiety about it. I was like, yeah, man, fine, I can make small talk with you and be fine. Like, I can be normal. And it was absolutely fine. And I feel like I've gone on this topic when I was talking about my sausages. We'll come back to them. This is going to be a long, rambly video. I hope that's okay. Powder. I'm going to powder. I still powder even though I shouldn't, but... well, I should, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I can do things on my own now. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder. I can go into shops with my head held high. I mean, obviously sometimes I don't feel very confident, but the majority of the time I'm totally fine. Like, social situations are getting so much easier for me now. It's how I was able to jump on a plane to Dublin a couple of weeks ago. I had anxiety about it, but I also just thought, Melissa, be a big girl. Like, you can do this. You can easily do this. And that's what I did, and I felt so accomplished afterwards. I'm actually using a brush to apply this. Are you impressed with me that I am not baking? Robert. Are you impressed? And yeah, so that's what I mean about seeing the positives now. And it's taken me, I mean, how many months is that? 9, 10 months? August? Yeah, it's taken me 10 months to start these positive changes, or to really notice them. And I cannot tell you like how proud of myself I am for such small things that so many of you would not even bat an eyelid at, but I know there's so many of you out there that would, and you'll completely understand what I'm talking about. These very small minute things that are just part of everyone's everyday, but they're so difficult for some people, and I can now do them. I just feel like I've become a much better version of myself, or like the person, I mean, I'm still working on things, but I feel like I'm becoming the person that I'm supposed to be, which is such a nice feeling, because I've always been one of those quite anxious, scared, always walk with my head down looking at the pavement, like draw no attention to myself kind of people. And I feel like I'm really changing, and it's not like I'm going out in like a bikini walking around begging people to look at me, but I don't feel so self-conscious and so anxious when I have to walk up to Boots to get my prescription, or when I'm queuing outside Tesco and people are looking at me. I'm not now thinking, oh man, they're staring at me because they think I look weird, or what if I have a poo on my back and I left the house with a poo on my back and I didn't know, you know, it's like really stupid things. Or yeah, when you pass like groups of teenagers and you just feel so self-conscious for some reason. I don't know what it is. Someone needs to explain the psychology of that to me. Teresa, that's your job. Resident psychologist. Okay, I am mattified, but before I go in with setting spray, I'm just going to go in my Bare Minerals Duo. Oh, if you remember, I got this in TK Maxx for an absolute bargain. And I'm using the shimmery side. Not glittery, it's just lovely and illuminating. And I feel like my confidence really is starting to show, and people are noticing. Like my sausages are certainly noticing, and like, I'll go into the date in a second, but just the encouragement that they give me and the things they tell me, it's like, I don't like not believe people so much anymore, you know, like accepting compliments, not like necessarily like, oh, you're pretty, and you're like, oh, no, I'm not, don't say that, you're lying. But I mean like more deeper things than that, like look at your confidence, Melissa, or look at what you're achieving, or you know, look at what you've done, like compliments like that. And I'm starting to think, do you know what, you're right, like I am doing these things. There's such, again, such silly little things, like being able to fly alone. Like it's not rocket science and it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but for me it was, and I never ever in 1 billion years would have travelled abroad alone. Not that Dublin's abroad, but you know what I mean, technically it is. I would never have done that this time last year. My battery's about to die and my memory card's about to fill up, and all I've done is like 2 steps. I'm not going to really be able to edit this video very much because like I'm talking. Base is on, battery's changed, memory card's fine. I'm going to use my all-nighter. Now I love my Urban Decay setting sprays, I keep them for best. So that's why I'm doing it today, because I'm acting as if I'm going out on a date or something. But this is the Ultra Glow one, and I have really been impressed with this. You can get 20% off this using the code MISSA on Look Fantastic with the link below. Not affiliated, but it makes me look good. I'll spray a liberal amount of this. And use my fan. One of my favourite presents. This is from Kerry. A sausage. I just think my skin looks real good. Like I don't look cake, like just ignore the eyelash glue. I don't look cakey or heavy, but I do look, you know, made up and glowy. My forehead, that's as good as it's ever gonna look, because I do have lines. I mean, who cares, whatever. I'm just really impressed by how all these products work together. I took my foundation off my lips so I can use my Grwm lip balm. Oh, this is fantastic. What's it called? Lip rehab. Yeah, lip rehab. Next up, I always contour. This is my Essence contour kit. You know it is a firm fave, but because I'm not wanting to look super makeup-y, I'm only using a little bit. Now of course I've forgotten my train of thought, so we're gonna move on. So I just want to quickly talk a little bit more about my body and things. Let me give you a wee back update. Back's doing great. Back's doing great. I know a lot of you actually found my channel when I hurt my back and was talking about my chronic pain issues that I was having, and a lot of us kind of bonded over that really, because so many of you could understand what living with chronic pain is like. My back is always sore, like right now it's sore, but it's got to the point of where I've had it sore for so long that you just kind of deal with it. And I came off all of my painkillers. I was on a plethora of painkillers, from gabapentin, strong cocodamol, Valium. I came off all of those over the start of this year, and I have to say that has been really good for me as well, because being on so many drugs all the time, like, it wasn't good for me. I know for some people they literally have no option, and that is just how they can deal with it. Like, I know people personally that have to take a lot of prescription drugs every day just to be able to get out of bed, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. For me, I wondered if the prescriptions were keeping me quite low and down and like making it almost worse. So yeah, I'm off all of my prescriptions now. I'm just contouring my nose a tiny bit with this lighter powder because I've already contoured with the cream and I feel like I can still see it and my nose looks good, but I don't want to have like an obvious nose contour. I don't think that ever looks really good if you're like going on a date or something. For me personally, like if I was going on a date like I am tonight, let's say, this is what I would do. I would never go on like a first date with someone with my big bright insane makeup. I just want to look like a much more polished version of myself. I don't want to be like my colourful Melissa, just personally. I need a bronzer. So one thing that I feel like has helped a lot with my back was coming off the pills, because they were keeping me, very sedated, which then wasn't encouraging me to try and get better. Where's my brush? Friends. Here, and I'm using my XX Revolution. This is in Intrinsic, because this bronzer is everything I could ask for in a bronzer. And I just want like a natural bronze, and that's what this can give, or you can build it up. But this is the bronzer I now gravitate towards too, when I just want to look slightly bronzed and pretty. So yeah, I'm so sorry, I'm really bad at telling stories, like real bad. So I started doing yoga in May, on the 28th of May, and on the 28th of May I took photos of me in my underkicks, and I started a list on my phone of what I was doing every day. Exercise wise, I hate exercise. It's the worst thing ever, unless it's like natural, like horse riding or dancing or something like that. Like, I hate gym exercise. It just doesn't work for me. I don't get motivated by it. I don't get excited. I give up. But I started yoga. I started doing yoga with Adrienne, and my life has changed 100%. I also credit starting yoga for a lot of my confidence coming back, and for just how I compose myself and how I can deal with situations. I always thought yoga was a bunch of like flim flam and like really like you had to be very spiritual and like, I was always kind of taught that it wasn't good from a Christian perspective, because that's the household I come from, a very Christian household. And the yoga with Adrian, it's not like that. It's just about bettering yourself from the inside and health wise, and then how that helps you cope with life. And it is just the best thing I've ever done. So sometimes I do 1 session a day, which can be 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Sometimes if I'm just enjoying it that much, I'll do like 5 sessions in one day and spend like 3 hours doing yoga. And I have lost weight, and I think quite a few people have noticed, like, I do feel like my face maybe looks a bit slimmer. I don't know if I can maybe like insert a wee clip from a few months ago and see if you think so, but I have lost weight and I've built muscle. I can do push-ups now. I have much more stamina, I've got much more strength, I've got abs. Like, they're still not, you know, poking out abs, but when I touch my stomach, I have abs. And that has given me a lot of confidence, because, I mean, who doesn't like to feel like they look good on the outside, you know? I spent every year for the past like 10 years, I'm going to use my Kaleidos Rewriter. I've spent every day for like the last 10 years in summertime having to spend hours getting ready, because I'll put on a top and I'm like, no, it shows too much arm. I can't wear shorts because I'm not skinny enough. I can't wear skirts. Like, no, it has to be like leggings and like a t-shirt with like sleeves, no sleeveless dresses, anything like that, because I just wasn't confident enough to wear clothes like that. I love this highlighter. It just like matches my skin tone, so it's not like too much for me just wanting to look nice, but it's also a very pretty highlight. And I do that thing that Robert Welsh does, pull it out from the side of my eye, and I find that very, very, very complimentary, because that is where the light hits you and it is where you look highlighted naturally. You know, I've been going to do my groceries recently in like shorts and a t-shirt. I'll go out on walks in shorts and I will feel confident and good, and I cannot tell you how much that has done for my self-esteem, just feeling like healthy and fit. I mean, I'm still not at my goal, not that I have a goal weight, because it's I didn't start yoga to lose weight. I started it to help my back, and honestly, because I was bored in lockdown and I thought, oh, you know what, let's give it a shot. But the losing weight aspect has been phenomenal for my self-esteem, and I'm sure those of you out there that have lost weight and kind of gotten fit, you can completely understand where I'm coming from. It is life changing to feel in control of your health and fitness and well-being. And as well as that, I cut out, I mean, I am embarrassed about how much I used to snack, so I am not exaggerating here. The only person I've ever told this to is Melanie, because I was very embarrassed. But for the last literal 10 years, I have, before bed, like as I'm lying in bed watching a movie, I have eaten family-sized bag of crisps, all to myself, like family size, big bar of chocolate or a bag of Maltesers or some chocolate thing, and then a bag of sweets. I could never regulate. I could never just have a little bar of chocolate or a normal bag of crisps. I had to have like the big supersized versions, and I ate that every single night for 10 years. I would most days not eat dinner, not eat lunch, not eat breakfast, and just snack at night, and sometimes I would eat double that, like in bed. So I've got Melanie saying, oh Melissa, I'm surprised you're not bigger than you are, you must have a good metabolism. And I must do. And cutting out 99.9% of that junk food, because I haven't cut it out all completely. Like on a Friday, I let myself eat like junk food because I love junk food. I'm gonna use the blush that's in here as well, because it just might as well. It's got a sheen to it. I think if I tried to cut out junk food completely, then I would just fail and I would just pile weight back on. Not that I've ever been like hugely overweight, but I've never been fit and in shape, at least not since my teens. And obviously my back last year stopped me doing anything, so I couldn't help but put weight on. But yeah, my eating habits were terrible, and now I cook a lot more, which is something that lockdowns kind of started me doing. I actually cook proper meals, like sometimes I'll have a baked potato and beans and salad, other times I'll have halloumi salad, other times I'll have like pesto pasta, and I make it all at home. I used to only ever eat ready meals as well. That's all me and my ex ever ate, was ready meals. Just bung them in the microwave. And some of them are fine, but a lot of them are not fine. And yeah, I'm just like in control now. And also, if it gets to like a Wednesday and I am craving chocolate or crisps, I'll just have them, but I'll have the small version. I feel like if I just, yeah, sat and denied myself everything, then I would just fail miserably. How gorgeous is that blush? I kind of want something with a bit more pigment though. Oh, that goes in that drawer. So yeah, that's been a huge thing for me, and I really feel like maybe if you are like me and you don't enjoy exercise but you want to maybe start, like just see if yoga is your thing. I'll link like this 30-day playlist that I started on. She's got like 5 or 6 on her channel. I'm going in with my I Heart Revolution Peach and Glow just because I want a little bit more peach on my cheeks. I'll link like the first playlist that I started, and give it a shot. If you're thinking about it and you just haven't started, give it a shot and see what you think. Just try. What have you got to lose? Half an hour of your life that day. Just give it half an hour and see what you think. Honestly, best thing I ever did. So we are gonna move I mean, that's the skin, very glowy, actually a bit more glowy than I meant to be. I'll just go over my sponge because I want to glow, but I don't want to look like I'm covered in highlighter. The Urban Decay setting spray, wow, oh wow, does it add a glow. Yeah, let's move on to eyes, and as we talk about eyes, we can talk about maybe a more juicy topic. How about that? Mum, if you're watching, I am almost 30. You can't get mad at me. I'm so lucky, one of my sausages, Romy, she has her own company now called Titmouse, and basically we've been speaking about it a lot in my collab videos with Teresa and Elena. I'll link it up there. She's gathering all of these really cool indie brands together, so you can just buy them from her shop, so you don't have to pay postage on like 7 different companies. You can just buy it from one place. So one thing she sent me is the Pink Honey brow soap, which I'm so excited about. I've wanted to try this for ages. Smells insane. This is the Super Hold. Does it smell like strawberries? It smells like sweeties. I want to eat it. I've actually got a discount code with Titmouse. Again, not affiliated, but I'll leave it down below. Go and check it out if you want to see some really cool indie brands. She sent me a bunch of these glitters and pigments as well, which I will use in a different video because they won't go with today's look. It came with this little spoolie, which actually I really like because it's not so big, so I can actually do this once I've got my base on and not ruin my makeup around my brows. So I'm doing the like brow soap, but I'm not wanting like major soap brows, just kind of slightly soap brows. And I feel like with this you can get either. Like the other day I did big soap brows, and now today I'm just doing natural soap brows. Soap brows seem to be quite love or hate, don't they? Some people love when my brows are really thick and other people really don't like it. I like them probably somewhere in the middle of very thick. So you put it on and then you just like press down with your fingers and it just holds the brow hairs in place. It's a really lovely brow gel. I'm pretty sure Robert Welsh likes it. Plus, it's supporting a small startup, supporting indie brands. We're not just giving all of our money to these huge conglomerates run by white men who only want to make products that appeal to rich white women. And that's it, like my brows will not budge. They will be there forever until I cleanse my face. I am so delighted with this. I think you can get 10% off with the code, which I'll leave below. Again, it's not an affiliate code. I'm going to use my Benefit Precisely My Brow, just where I need some extra. I don't really spend a lot of time on my brows when I'm trying to go for more of the natural-ish makeup. I say ish because I never do natural makeup, but you know what I mean. I'm going to quickly do this and then we'll do our eyes, but I'll do this like I'll finish my brows off camera, just because I would rather jump into the next part of our story, not trying to focus on eyebrows. So I'll be back in a moment. But I mean, how much better does that brow look already? Just looks like an eyebrow, right? Okay, I'm actually going to take my ABH Dip Brow in Blonde. Bear with, not for my brows. This is what I've been doing to my eyes, just so that they're not like fading away into oblivion, but I've still got them. So let's talk about dating. You need to go and watch my sausages video. Her name is Rosie. I'll link her channel below. She just did a video on dating, and it's kind of started off really light-hearted and just like funny dating stories, but then it turned into like, you go girl, you know, self-confidence kind of thing. I'm gonna just come in a bit, I think would be better for the eyes. I'll link it below anyway, you should watch it and subscribe. So maybe 2 weeks ago, I signed up to Tinder, which I'm sure you all know is a dating site. I have never really online dated before. Like I've kind of like set up a profile, just had a look, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to deal with this. Like online dating just seems very stressful and very like fake and just not my cup of tea. So I've always kind of like stayed away from it. Like before I met my ex and things, like I've just always met people like out and about normally. Like I met my ex, the husband, at work, and then the only other kind of really serious relationship I had before that with my other ex, he lived below me when I was 17 or 18, and me and my friend had a flat, and she ended up dating one of the boys and I dated the other for a good while. So I've never really done online dating before. So I started Tinder, and I really don't like Tinder. It's just like there's too many men posing shirtless that just makes me cringe so hard. I'm sure it works for a lot of girls, but for me, honestly, I just find it really cringeworthy when they're like topless in bed. So that was a big no. Swiped right on a few, had a couple conversations. In fact, had a conversation, and he was gonna drive to Alloa from Edinburgh, and we were gonna go out for a wee drink, and he never showed up. He ghosted me. Can you believe it? I got ghosted. How mean. Just tell me you're not coming so I can take my makeup off and go to bed. So yeah, that was kind of annoying, but it was kind of funny as well, because to be honest, I just went onto the WhatsApp group with the girls and we just all had a laugh eventually. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put a tiny bit of this dip right under here, just on the very outer corner. It won't stick on this side because the side's the watery eye. See, I'm keeping it very simple, like almost nothing-y, and then I'm going to take like a different brush. Can you hear my stomach? And just ever so slightly take it into my crease. Then I was watching Teresa and speaking to Teresa when I was there and on WhatsApp and stuff, and she kept mentioning Bumble, because Teresa is, you know, doing online dating as well. So she kept mentioning Bumble, which I'd never heard of, so I thought, you know what, let's sign up to Bumble. So I signed up to Bumble as well, and I found that probably a more pleasant experience, although an issue that I for me it's kind of a prerequisite that no children are involved. Like, personally, this is just for me. Don't be offended, it is just me. I don't want to go on a date with someone or start something with someone that has children. It's just, children are not in my future, and that's just that. Like, for me, that is that's a no. Just for me. Again, don't be offended if you have kids. I mean, that's your decision. Mine is no kids. So I was finding that like, honestly, about 80% of the guys had kids, and that was quite annoying. But then I swiped right on a man. I'm gonna use my Twiggly Living My Best Life palette, and I'm obviously not gonna mention names or anything on here anyway, but I swiped right on this guy and we chatted a little bit online, and I just liked that he was normal. So in fact, one guy I'd swiped right on earlier on, we started talking, but he was very, 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 very full on and like using endearing terms like darling and things like that just like immediately, and that was kind of off-putting. But I thought, you know, maybe just like, maybe that's just how he talks. But then he was just very, very forward, and that's something as well that is just a dead no for me. If someone sends an unsolicited picture or says like creepy smarmy things that they think sound sexy, nope, big no for me. It is just, it makes me cringe. It's just a big no for me. It just makes me feel icky and gross. So I just had to say to him, sorry, I don't think this needs to go any further, because you'd need to be honest with people and not ghost them. So even if, you know, I think it's just the polite thing to do is just say, look, nothing gained, nothing lost, it's fine, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna use an even lighter colour and just blend around that a pinch more, because I just want this there but not there, but there but not there. And so yeah, this dude, we were chatting and he wasn't like forward, he was chatty, but he wasn't saying anything kind of like suggestive or anything, because like I said, that's not my cup of tea. I'm just not like that. It doesn't do anything, it's just gross for me. And he was, yeah, just very pleasant to talk to online. And then I think I actually suggested, do you want to go for a drink? And he's like, yeah, where I live or where you live. And because I'm lazy, I was like, where I live. And so this must have been 2 days ago now. I spent pretty much all day getting ready, I'm not gonna lie, because I wanted to take my time and feel like I looked nice. This is literally the makeup that I did for that, by the way, although I probably went a little bit heavier on the eyes than I meant to, but I just got carried away. You know what it's like. I've just put a much darker brown on and I actually wasn't happy with it, but I also wasn't unhappy with it, so we just went with it. Yeah, I spent all day getting ready, dyed my hair that day. Not because for the date, but because I just wanted my hair to look nicer. So maybe slightly for the date. And I mean, that is the eyes, really. I'm going to put my, where are you, darling? My Rimmel nude eyeliner. Everyone has this, don't they? So we want those eyes to look wide open. Must be weird for some of you seeing me in this kind of makeup look. And then I'm going to take the highlighter I used, so just Ray Rider, and just plonk a little bit of that up the middle. Just very little, almost nothingy, but it's just going to bring brightness to the center of my eye and keep up the look of my eyes being more wide and bigger than they are. Lashes, I need to find some natural lashes. I'm using my Huda Olivia Shorty lashes number 18. I've actually been wearing Eyelures exclusively for this look, so you can definitely get much cheaper ones, but Once you've used them quite a few times, they do die sooner, so they've not lasted me super well. I spent all day getting ready, like I said. I wore a black dress. I got it in H&M that day actually. No, the day before it would have been, and it was, I don't know if I can find a picture. If I can, I'll put it on the screen. It was just a cute little dress, and it was £12.99, and I was like, what bargain, that's pretty nice. And then when I got up to the till, it was £4. So I was even happier. I want to go back and get more. They have other pretty ones. So yeah, I wore the dress and my plaid shirt. Some of you girls will be happy to know the plaid did come out. This lash is actually broken, so I might struggle putting it on actually. And I wore my Nike Air Force Ones. If I've got the picture, I'll put it in. I just took a very quick snap for the group. And I felt good, yeah. Felt like I looked good. And again, that is not a dress I would have worn a year ago because it showed too much arm, it showed too much leg, even though I wouldn't say it's a revealing dress at all. I would happily wear that in front of my parents, you know what I mean? But I would never have shown like that much leg or arm. I would have been far too self-conscious. Or I would have worn it with tights and a jacket covering my arms. So that's another thing about the yoga. It's just, I feel like I can wear now what I want to wear. As well, for a date or a special occasion, I would always wear waterproof mascara, just that it doesn't run at all. So that's what I'm gonna do. Plus I love this Maybelline Lash Sensational. It's the only mascara I can ever say in my life that I've loved, and that's saying something because I never care about mascara. So he came and picked me up at 8 p.m, just after 8 p.m, and we went to the pub. And you have to, like, it's the first time I've been to a pub or anything since lockdown started. Like, apart from going to Ireland, it's like the only thing I've done socially. And you have to like sign in and give your name and address and phone number and stuff, so that basically I think if there's like an outbreak they can contact you, so you have to then isolate and stuff. I don't know, it's the first time I've ever done that. Just making sure my lashes and the falsies are stuck together. I do absolutely adore these lashes. I used to wear them all the time, do you remember? Just a few months ago. For me as well, I quite like a pub for a first date because I am, although I've been talking about my confidence, I am still, you know, a fairly shy person. And I do worry, like, oh, you know, the conversation might run out or something. I mean, everyone worries about that, right? On a date. Everyone, surely. So I quite like the pub because you can have a pint or a drink. If you're unfeminine like me, have a wee pint of Stella. And, you know, just get a wee bit of Dutch courage. You know, it was just a very nice date, and that's the first date I've been on in years and years and years and years, and I was just so pleasantly pleased. You know, this, you know, nice man showed up and he was polite and he was just, you know, you could just tell. What have I done on this outer corner? Yeah, he was just polite, he asked questions, he was conversational, he was just very nice company, and that was nice, obviously. And what else was really nice is that I was kind of worried, you know, going into it, like, oh, you know, what if I just break down and not cope and start thinking about my ex, and you know, what if, oh, I put mascara on my face, you know, what if I have a pint and then start crying or something? And none of that happened. Like, I didn't think of my ex once, and unless we were like talking about it, because obviously, you know, I had to say, you know, technically I'm married and stuff, and that's, you know, the extent of thinking about it. And I swear to you all, I never ever thought I would get to the point in my life where I would be able to do something like that, because for me the devastation was just so entire when my marriage broke down that I thought, you know, there's no way. I mean, I've been saying it to the sausages for ages, like, there's no way I'm gonna get through this. There's no way I'd ever be able to move on. It was just a few months ago when someone was asking me about it, just casually in a conversation. They were like, yeah, but you're over that now, right, aren't you? And I just started crying afterwards. I was like, no, I'm not over it. But holy macaroni, I'm certainly blooming getting there if I'm not there already, right? I just feel so proud of myself and impressed, to be honest, at the human brain being able to just with time heal. Because I was gonna take myself off planet Earth, you know, I didn't want to be here anymore, and I thought that would be, you know, the best solution. I couldn't live with the pain, and I know some of you are gonna think I'm being dramatic. I don't care. For me it was just earth-shattering, like life over for me. And now looking at where I am, and like, I went on a date and I had a really nice time, and I mean, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not saying that, you know, this is it. Absolutely not. Even if it was just one really nice evening with a really nice guy, chatting and getting along, it's just such a huge major step, and it's made me excited again for like the future, because you really just, you don't know what it holds, you don't know who it holds, you don't know, you know, what the plans are for you. God works in very mysterious ways, and you don't know what's around the corner. That's part of being a human. You just don't know. You're just a wandering sack of meat on the face of a rock floating through space. You know, you just don't know. I'm gonna use more setting spray. How natural my eyes are. Are some of you very, very shocked at my naturalness? And then that just leaves the lip, and you could literally do anything at this point. I mean, if I was just going out shopping or something, like groceries right now, I wouldn't put any lip on. I would just keep my lip balm on, because you have to wear a mask at all times. But for my date, I'll put on what I wore, I guess. Which was an orange. This is Smashbox. First time wearing it actually, and it's very pretty. I don't know if I should do orange or should I do nude? Like glossy nude. I might do glossy nude, just because that's the mood I'm in, but I did wear the orange on my date. TLC by MUA, of course. Like, taking my family out of the equation, because obviously my family are the best. I think kind of feel sorry for everyone else on the planet because they didn't have my family, but I think we all feel like, well, most of us feel like that about our families. Like, my mum's the best mum, my dad's the best dad, my siblings are the best, you know what I mean? Apart from obviously my family, my sausages have just been such a support in so many different ways, and they don't even, I don't feel like they can grasp or understand just how grateful I am for all of their support. Even the sausages like that I don't speak to on a daily basis, like, just the support of watching my videos and commenting, and obviously the financial support. I mean, it's helping me to just be able to create videos, and they mean the world to me, as do, I mean, my subscribers. The fact that you guys come back and watch my videos and leave comments and stuff, it just blows my mind, because I still feel like little Melissa just putting makeup on her face. Like, why would anyone want to watch that? But you guys do, and it baffles me, and it's exciting, and so many of you give me such encouragement as well, and just thank you. I'm not very good with words. to be honest. When I left Teresa and she dropped me off at the airport, I pretty much like ran away from her like, thanks, I'll text you something nice later, because I'm not good at words. Great lip liner. And see that Grwm underneath, very hydrating, very lovely. And then I'll use my Maybelline Lip Gloss on top. I need to get a new one. I say it every time I use this. I'm surprised it's still going. I would definitely not wear gloss on a first date. Let me tell you that. Okay, that is my face. I'm going to quickly do my hair. I'm going to quickly curl it off camera and then I'll just throw it up. Because I've been doing like the same thing with it and quite liking it, but that's the colour better. I also cut it. I cut a few inches off. It's been up in a bun after my shower, so it's a bit messy. I'll curl it and then we'll throw it up and then we'll be done. I'm sure I've spoken enough for about 4 videos. I did try and curl my hair. I've just been doing this like the half up the past few days. Quite liking it. Keeps my hair out my face. I mean, right now I look like Weird Al Yankovic because it's so fluffy, but earrings. My ears are really red because I'm hot. Done. Don't like this, but we're dealing with it. It'll drop out. I'm not going anywhere anyway. I wish. There we go. Finished. So from looking like a bum, like the back end of a reversing dump truck or a bulldog bitten by a wasp, this is my face, and it's just like a confidence giving makeup. Like, it's very simple, but for me, like, even if I did nothing on the eyes except the lashes, I'd feel good, because I feel like lashes always open up my eyes, but the glowy, really glowy, glossy skin I'm just here for. Like, the cream products underneath are just such a necessary thing for me. And then I'm really impressed by my Urban Decay All Nighter. I've used this, like, shut up, like all week and a half. I've been obsessed with it because I think it adds such a gorgeous glow. So yeah, that is how I would have looked apart from my worn orange lip on my date, or if I had another date tonight, this is what I would do. I just want to be like, yeah, a more polished version of myself and not like my super made up self, because whilst that's a lot of fun, it's kind of scary for some men. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. We probably went a lot more chatty than I meant to go, but there we are. See what I edit out. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, do give it a thumbs up, and then I'll know to do like more chatty get ready with me. So I was thinking of like chatty Q&A soon, just while I got ready. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload 3 times a week, and in fact it's 4, because every Sunday I do a collab on Teresa's channel, which I'll link up here and down there, and leave me a comment. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!